Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm MJ.
And we love keto.
Keto.
All right, today's episode is going to be a Mexican dish we're going to prepare. I'm using spaghetti squash. I have some onions and peppers, and some ground turkey, and some cilantro, and a few seasonings. So let's get started, okay? All right, so let's get started on this spaghetti squash. I am gonna, first of all, spread some olive oil on here. A good amount. And just kind of massage that olive oil right into the spaghetti squash. All around the edges there and then right down inside. I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees. Yeah, just give it a little massage, it deserves it. It's gonna make you a good meal. So. All right, let me wash my hands real quick. Oven's ready. I'm gonna start with a little bit of salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. Top's not on too tight, so let's tighten that up before it's all over the place. On keto diet, you gotta make sure you have salt. I'm not saying to put a whole bunch on, but make sure it's seasoned good. A little bit of cracked pepper. All right, I'm gonna start with some granulated onion. Sprinkle a little of that on there. Granulated garlic powder. Just a little bit. Some cumin. I put it inside and all around the outside. These are Mexican seasonings. A little bit of chili powder, depending on how spicy you like it. Not that this is a lot of spice, but there's a little kick to it. And I'm gonna use some thyme, some whole dried thyme. And then some dried rosemary, crushed rosemary. All right. And that's all there is to that. We're gonna flip this over. And pop this in the oven. And in about 20 minutes, it'll be done. All right, so we're gonna start with the turkey now. I'm gonna turn this pan on. Let it get warm. After it heats up a little, we're gonna put a little olive oil in there. I went to the, when we went to the store today to get ground turkey, they didn't have hardly any ground turkey. The only way we found it was in this patty form. So there's no seasonings in it or anything, so we're gonna break that up and we're gonna use that. All right, when this pan is ready, I'm gonna pop that in. Okay, that pan's pretty hot now, so I'm gonna put some olive oil in here. I have the heat up on medium-high. Break these up a little. We'll season them up with just about the same seasonings that we used on the spaghetti squash. There we go. A little bit of salt. Some pepper. It's Mexican, so it's got to be a little spicy, right? And cumin. Granulated garlic. And granulated onion. Let this cook up a little bit. All right, let's let that go. All right, so that's just about done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in the onions and peppers. And I am going to use some of the whole dried thyme in here at this point. And also some of the crushed dried rosemary. A little salt. Gotta layer the flavors. Mix that up a little and let it cook up. Sweat those vegetables a little bit. All right, that's been cooking for a couple of minutes. And I want to add some taco seasoning into this. And the package says to use 2/3 of a cup of water. I'm going to use, for this recipe, about a cup of chicken broth. I'll add the seasoning in. There we go. Spread that around a little. Oh, that's the timer for the spaghetti squash. Have to check that in a second and see how close we are to being ready. It's been 20 minutes for the spaghetti squash. And I give this a good mix, then I'm going to check that spaghetti squash. Alright, the spaghetti squash was not done, so I put it in for another 5 minutes. The meat and vegetables are pretty much ready, so I'm going to shut those off and just let them sit in the hot pan for right now while that spaghetti squash finishes. Okay, so the spaghetti squash is done. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. You just stick a knife in. You see, it goes in very easy. Very easy. That means it's done. So that's set to go. The meat is set to go. We're going to transfer all that into another glass baking dish. And we're going to mix it up with some cheese. And then throw it in the oven for a little bit. Alright, so I flipped these over, let them cool off for a couple of seconds. You see that steam coming out of there. So what you gotta do is, I put it in a bowl like this, a big enough plastic bowl, and just kind of take your fork and run it along it. As you can see, I think you can see that. Looks like spaghetti. So I'll get this all done, and then we can mix all these ingredients up and get it back in the oven. Okay, so this is kind of what the spaghetti squash looks like once it's all out. Just gonna dump this in this glass baking dish. Now we're going to add in the meat and vegetables. Right on top. Okay. You're putting in some Mexican cheese. Okay. That was what I had left over from another meal that I made. We like cheese, so I'm gonna add the majority of this in here. Okay, that looks to be just about a cup. And you just want to stir this around a little bit, mix it up, get it all incorporated together. Yeah, smells great. Add the rest of it on top. Whoops, hold on. I almost forgot. I got some coarsely chopped cilantro that I want to put in here also. Can't forget the cilantro. All right. Now I'll add the rest of that cheese on here. Put it in the oven for a little while. Let this cheese melt up. And that'll be time to eat. Finally. I'm hungry. Really didn't take that long. All right, let's get it in the oven. All right. So, we're gonna get it out of the oven. Oh yeah. Okay, well, it's in the dishes. We're getting ready to enjoy this meal. Spaghetti squash with some ground turkey and onions and peppers and some Mexican seasoning, cilantro, and lots of cheese.
Oh yeah. Yum.
Definitely tastes Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's seasoned okay.
That's perfect.
Got a little bit of a bite, but not bad.
I love it.
All right. So it's easy to make. You should try this. I'm gonna have the recipe in the down below in the description. Also, I'll have a link to the knife that I used today, which was a Pampered Chef knife. I'll have a link down there on the description as well. You can find a hammer at your local hardware store,
Right.
but you might not be able to find that knife, so I'll put a link down to that. So if you got some value out of this, please click the like button, and if you choose to, why don't you smash that subscribe button and then click the bell icon so you can get notifications when we get a new video out. All right? So, bon appetit. To you.
Yum.
Good.
Mm-hmm.